Hello, this is Darren DePaul, the voice of Emperor Valkorion, and you're watching another video by Vulkk.
Greetings, I'm Vulkk, and with this video guys, I know the title is confusing probably to some of you, but hopefully in the first minutes now, first seconds actually, you will be able to understand what exactly the purpose of this video is going to be. I have been playing this game for a very long time indeed, and I dare say I've witnessed absolutely every single change that developers from Bioware implemented into my favorite MMO Star Wars The Old Republic. A couple of days ago, for a reason I prefer not to share, I was browsing some old dev posts because I was, researching something, let's call it like this, and a weird idea came to my mind. Let's see what's the oldest archived yellow post or developer post. And that's what I did. And then out of curiosity, because it's fun, yes, it really was, I started browsing some of the oldest pages of the developer forum posts, and I started remembering weird things. And then an even more weirder idea came to my mind. Why don't I actually consider making a video out of this? First, to entertain myself. Second, to entertain the veteran players among you who remember these things. And third, to introduce to some of my newer audience or newer players that have joined the game and my channel more recently and maybe never heard of these things that I will show you and talk about in the next few minutes. Yes, there are a couple of things that I'm almost certain, some of you guys may not remember or have never seen before. Let's begin with the oldest archived post in the developer tracker. It is from 7th of May 2012, and it's about a server issue from Amber Green. I have no idea what exactly happened to Amber Green, but she used to be one of the most, if not the most, active developer communicating with the community through the forums. And yep, this is the oldest archive on page 270 from Amber Green, an origin server called Canderos Ordo. Do you remember that character? Please tell me you do. The next topic, community news. I don't mean this video to be like a sulky, look at what they were doing and what they should be doing, so please don't accept my words and commentary in this sense. No, this video just wants to present to you guys what was happening to the game or what was planned to happen to the game 5 years ago. Well, actually, these posts are from May 2012, so that makes them exactly 1 year old now. And this is indeed community news. There are tons and tons of forum posts regarding the community news posts, the one that you're watching on the screen at the moment. They were also calling them community blogs, and they were published weekly. I can't remember if it was really Friday, because Friday was kind of a very important day of the week for Star Wars The Old Republic before the release and shortly after the release. Everything major was written, published, and shared on a Friday afternoon. Well, it's Friday afternoon for me, probably Friday morning for the developers in Austin. Yes, this is the Old Republic podcast episode 1. This is what the community news from 8th of May was discussing. And I choose to show you episode 1 because I only remember 3 episodes ever being recorded. Eric Musco was the lead host. As you can see, this is supposed to be his character here on the left side in front of the microphone doing a weird sign. He had various guests from the developer team and he interviewed them with upcoming features. They were discussing current features for the game, current issues, current and future plans for upcoming content. I don't know why, but if you browse for these episodes, pilot episode 1 and episode 2, on the YouTube channel, comments have been disabled for episode 1. God knows what trash you could find there before they disabled them. And for the episode 2, comments are available, but it's because YouTube was using that old commenting system 5 years ago. You can't really make up a decent discussion out of those comments. They don't seem connected to each other. My main point is this podcast only reached 3 episodes in total and episode 2 overall because I think the community was way too harsh. May 2012 was one of the worst months or one of the worst times for my favorite game. This is when every veteran player had already gotten bored of the currently available endgame content back then at level 50. We only had Nightmare version for the two launching operations. It was just the time when EC, or Explosive Conflict on the Nova, had launched in story and hard mode. And by the way, I believe in episode 2 of the podcast, they were discussing what the Nightmare mode for EC was going to be. Yes, it was that hard, really. Very few elite guilds were able to run through the Nightmare version of EC when it launched. So in episode 1 and episode 2, they discussed these things, but for one reason or another, the community just absolutely trashed down these episodes with dislikes and I want to call them inappropriate comments below the videos. Yes, I'm avoiding showing them on YouTube, but you can very easily find them. Just type in the search bar on YouTube, the Old Republic Podcast or SWTOR Official Podcast, and you should be able to find the pilot, episode 1, and episode 3. That's all I have to say about those. They were fun, actually. It was very good and very interesting to hear the thoughts from some of the minds that were behind creation of the game. And I personally still like and miss Daniel Eriksson. Many people blamed him for this and for that. I think he was a cool guy, and I definitely miss him as part of Star Wars: The Old Republic's creative team. Let's move on with the next topic. We've got more community news, and I don't want to really bring you back on that topic because I've already discussed it a couple of screens ago. But yep, Bioware was customly collecting forum posts and as they call them, weekly forum thread roundup. Some of the most important forum posts were collected here, whether it's from developers or from actually members of the community, players like me and you. They were collecting these things and linking them with a very brief description in a blog kind of an article. Moving on to the next one, another post from Antonia Phillips, probably a name nobody recognizes, is because Antonia never actually really posted many things on the developer tracker. So this is about the group finder. And this message intends to thank for the feedback about the group finder and clarifies how the group finder, the group finder mechanics work. They still work exactly the same way as described in this message, just in case you guys are wondering. And I selected this post from 12th of June 2012 because I wanted to remind myself and ask if you remember what was the game before Group Finder? And a little bit later, I will have a chance to ask you, do you remember what was it when you were supposed to jump to indicate that you're ready for starting the boss pool? The next dev tracker post is actually the very one below it from the same date. List of available servers for transfer. That's it. On June and July 2012, we began the first migration. I didn't bother to check when exactly was the second one. I believe it was in the very early 2013. Someone can list that in the comment for me if you guys remember, or if you check for me here somewhere on the developer tracker. But if I scroll way down, oops, a little bit too much probably. Let's see. This is the PvE section for the European English servers, and we can see Vulkk's own origin server, Frostclaw, being transferred to the Nightmare Lands. How did I remember that this was the first transfer? Because I was first moved automatically, like everybody else, from Frostclaw to Nightmare Lands, and the second server migration was, or server consolidation was, when I was moved from Nightmare Lands to the Red Eclipse. And ever since then, I've been calling the Red Eclipse my home. I've never transferred the character on purpose, but I was transferred twice. Around the first transfer, I realized that I don't want to keep creating and updating those damned friends list. And it would be really nice if Bioware comes up with a solution for unified user ID, just like it's available in many other games. So when you befriend someone, you can friend them as a user ID. I know that it brings both positives and negatives because that would probably allow you to know when they're online and they just want to have some quiet time playing an unknown character that nobody knows the name of. But yeah, that was the reason for this post, just so you guys know that the first server merge began in the middle of 2012. The game was struggling. I didn't notice it was struggling. Yes, there were some PvP queuing issues. I was experiencing extremely long delay from when I queue up for a Warzone match, especially the solo queue um, on the Frostclaw server, but I still remember the cool name of my server, Frostclaw. And Nightmare Lands, of course, is a very famous region on VOS that probably everybody has visited or should visit if you guys haven't. There is a whole, what do you call them, bonus series available there, quests and stuff. Moving on to the next one, and this is a post from August 2012. Let me quote what Matt has said. Many people in the studio are looking forward to a ready check system as well. We have one in the works, but unfortunately I can't give an ETA, estimated time ahead. Rest assured, we hear you and things are in motion. Back in those days, we did not have ready check. How many of you guys remember when the raid leader or the group leader asks you to start jumping to indicate that you're here and ready for the next pool? I believe these days this mechanic is still used for those very few people who tend to go to Boros courtyard and pull the boss over there, because I believe the mechanics are exactly the same. Everybody wants to damage the isotope cylinders first and then begin the actual boss fight, which puts you in combat well before the time when you actually pull the boss. Good old memories. Wow, I can't believe how many quality of life features have been introduced in those 5 years. And because I've been around for all of those, probably to me, they don't look that many. And everybody who just jumps into the game, you guys get to see all of these things already available, and you don't know what the hell was it without them. I would never forget getting stuck on Taris every second move. And of course, I would never forget having to run through the whole Taris without the mount, because mounts back then were available at level 25. Half of my leveling was actually done without the mount. The level cap was 50. The last post I would like to share with you is an answer to that Gizmo's Gizmo's bright blue text. Yes, we're absolutely looking to ensuring that players will actually die when they're knocked back or fall into the reactor core in the SLS. This developer post from Amber Green is actually kind of a funny, but at the same time mockery response to the eternal and very unfriendly bug on the ramp of the SLS. It was, if I remember correctly, that ramp was just before the bonus boss and after another middle kind of a mini boss. Anyway, you probably remember what ramp I'm talking about, and if you've been in the game since launch, you also might remember that annoying bug where you fall through the ramp when certain conditions are met, and there is no way for you to get out unless, of course, you die and exit and re-enter the flashpoint. That was my mini collection from very old developer posts. If you find this video useful, I might consider turning it into series, because for different kinds of researches, or when someone asks me when was this said, when did developers confirm this, when did that happen, I actually do dig through the yellow posts or the developer tracker quite often to research some things, to find some answers for myself, or for folks who are asking stuff on my channel in the form of comments and things like that. Yes, it was fun for me to attempt to present something funny. If you found it funny, well, throw a like on the video. Thank you very much for your support. If you've never subscribed to my channel for whatever reason, now would be a good time, because you will receive notifications for when the next time I start a live stream, or for when I publish a new video. Thank you guys for enjoying this very long video that was supposed to be 3 to 4 minutes long, but obviously wasn't. See you next time. Thank you for watching. I hope you have enjoyed the video. Click the like button and help me out. To help me improve and expand, consider becoming my patron with a small monthly pledge.